Stratford-on-Avon, Trowbridge and Westbury. This train has 3 coaches.
So I rode the train from Bath to Didcot to visit the Didcot Railway Museum on the Great Western. Here we're passing through Swindon, and we're about to get to Didcot Parkway, which is the location of the Railroad Museum.
The next station is Didcot Parkway.
The Didcot Railroad Museum is accessible only through a tunnel under the Great Western Railroad Didcot Parkway station, and it's in kind of an area between live tracks, so there's live switching happening all around with these 66 class engines everywhere, freight passing frequently, as well as Great Western trains. I visited Furness number 20, and 040, built in 1865, was in operation. This engine was restored in 1999 to its 1863 original status. It had been used in a steel operation as a saddle tank engine, and its tender was rebuilt, and it has its 1863 Sharp Stewart appearance. It was a sister engine to Copper Knob, which is at York. And here's what the inside of the Edwardian era coaching stock looked like, as well as some views of the build plate Atlas Works 1863. It's a beautiful engine. Didcot is known really as focusing on the Great Western Railroad. Here's the coal tower. It has a ramp leading up to refill the coal. Here's more of the Furness 20. The whole museum is really the steam shop of the Great Western at Didcot. There's examples of many of the different types of freight wagons the Great Western had, as well as an example of almost every large class of Great Western engine. Great Western is very popular in England. You can think of it as an equivalent of how popular the Pennsy Railroad is in the U.S. Great Western is sometimes referred to as God's Wonderful Railroad. Here are some more of the Great Western wagons and steam engines. This one's quite old, 1898 saddle tank. Here's the inside of the steam shed. Examples of large class Great Western castles, halls, kings. Really quite something. From all periods, there's a Great Western mogul in the middle in World War I paint. Multiple hull engines, just like a mid-level express train, kind of a mixed-use engine. I do like the brightly colored steam engines that the UK had. Great Western polish their steam domes, which I also find very pretty. Have a brass steam dome on many of the engines. A link. I mean, it's very easy to be distracted by Furness running back and forth. There's a second smaller shed at Didcot where they do a lot of the restoration work. There's some engines under restoration as well as some completed ones. Nice little saddle tank here. Again, the Furness. Didcot has many engines that were closely associated with the Western region railroads, as well as some other local engines. This is a World War II bank that was preserved. This is the power for the transfer table. It's actually a little steam engine, as well as some banana vans. There was a second engine running the day I was there, the Trojan.
Make sure that no clinker, fires are free. Leave a bit of a hole in the middle so she won't make steam, and a little bit of fresh in the back to make sure she doesn't go out.
I cut them as they were banking the engine for a break. The Trojan was running with a Churchward auto trailer built in 1912. Here it is. They also have replica Great Western broad gauge engines, the Firefly and the North Star. Here's the broad gauge track and a little piece of actual rail. Here's an atmospheric rail from Brunel idea, kind of a pneumatic railroad. It would fill with air and push the trains down the track. Some signals. Here's the Trojan coming in. The auto trailers were a neat invention. They meant that the short passenger train could be operated from either the steam engine or the one end of the passenger car. There was space for an engineer. This is the car restoration shop. You can see some of the works in progress, as well as some completed ones. This is part of the apparatus of a traveling postal car. It could capture train bags on the fly. Here's some more Great Western cars and some stacks. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and hope to catch you next time. Please consider liking or subscribing.